listening to Cricket World Radio.
And this is Cricket World Around the World. Welcome to Cricket World Around the World. I'm John Pennington. I'm joined for today's show by Jim White. Hello, Jim.
John, hello there.
Enjoying this sort of unseasonal sunny weather we've got in the UK, making the best of it while we still can.
Trying to.
Well, we've had some not so good weather out there in the Indian Premier League. We're going to be talking about that in a bit. Also, later on the show, we're going to be hearing from Matt Pryor, Brett Lee and Wayne Parnell. So let's just sort of discuss some of the issues that are making the news at the moment. Jim, IPL, we had one of the very first washouts in India, didn't we?
Absolutely. I mean, it's one of those things that's going to happen at some point. How it'll affect the whole series, I doubt very much at all. But for the players that are sort of playing for places and trying to keep their opportunities alive and become successful players in IPL, that maybe that was their day. Bad luck. Move on. As we know, it's a long tournament, a bit like the World Cup, which was probably too long. But some interesting little fixtures coming up as well. I particularly got my eye on match 23. As we all know, Shane Warne's favourite number. But Gilchrist versus Warne, that's an absolute top of the tree, one of those can't wait matches.
Yes, and three teams at the top of the table as we go to recording on 6 points. There's nobody's really adrift, no one's got away, so it really is capturing the interest of everybody. So they really don't know who's going to make those playoffs until the last minute, I suggest.
That's true. I mean, there's been some good early running, to use a horse racing phrase, if you like, from some of the unfancied teams, and some of the more established teams. I mean, the interesting thing is you've got these players who are chopping and changing between franchises, which means there isn't this loyalty. They're going to play for one team over a period of years, which I think I would have liked to have seen. If you can have a franchise, that's it, carry on. But they obviously just want to keep buying and selling the whole time, so that's fine. But it does make for different mixes and new opponents and new rivalries.
Going to pick up on one word you said there, Jim, about loyalty, because I want to move on to my next topic. West Indies play Pakistan. They're starting off with the 2020. Then they play 3 one-day internationals. Chris Gayle not playing. He's decided to go and play in the IPL WICB. Disappointed, to use their words in his decision. Chris Gayle responding on Jamaican radio saying, well, he had no choice. He was frozen out. So an impasse. And what do we make of that? Is that the way the game's going? Players are going to say, no, I'm going to go and play 2020 cricket rather than play international cricket.
Well, I've not read the full story, but he says he was frozen out. I don't quite understand how, if you're offered a contract by your national governing body, you take it, because
well,
if you want to play Test cricket,
he didn't, of course. So
he wasn't offered a contract.
He was offered one. He decided not to sign it. Effectively.
So he's frozen out as opposed to him freezing himself out.
Well, I suspect this story is going to run, so we'll keep abreast of it. But we're looking forward particularly to the series with a lot of young players, a lot of uncapped players involved. So that for me is going to be very exciting.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those, peaks and troughs. Every team goes through changes, and which is why I'm disappointed that Chris Gayle hasn't decided to play Test cricket and sign a contract for the West Indies Cricket Board. He is a sort of player that would help the team develop into the team that it could be. By him not playing, yes, great, good luck to all the youngsters that are coming in, the new players, fine, give an opportunity. However, to go back to the classic days of the 70s and 80s when the West Indies were a force to be reckoned with, you need to have players that are going to play at the highest level over a period of time, and Chris Gayle really should be in there as one of those top players.
Now, we mentioned the weather here in the UK right at the top of the show, and we're going to come back to that because it's been brilliant, because we've got the county season underway, great weather, and some good performances and exciting cricket there as well. Yep,
the world is focusing on the English domestic season. Love it. It's absolutely brilliant. There's a whole mixture of things. The championship. There's also the 40-40, if you want to call it. Already that's been mixed up. It's always a difficult thing for players to chop and change between those. And of course, the England players coming back. Some are playing county cricket, of course. Others, although they've been released and having a rest, aren't playing. One of whom, of course, Matt Pryor, we caught up with this week. Matt, good afternoon.
Hello, Jim. How you doing, mate?
Very well, very well. How are you finding the cooler conditions today?
It's actually been not too bad, to be honest with you. It's all right. I'll tell you what, when we got back, it was just some cold air and some rain, actually. But yeah, it's wearing off quickly.
Fantastic. Okay, well, listen, we know you're today up in Enfield. JJB store, I understand, to launch the new England one-day shirt.
That's right.
Must be pretty excited about more new kit to play cricket in?
Yeah, I mean, it's always good. Adidas have been fantastic. They're always sort of asking the players for any info on how we want the kit, and they usually listen pretty well. I think they brought out a real nice kit. For us, from the performance point of view, it's fantastic. and I think it looked pretty good as well. So yeah, very excited about it.
Probably more so than others, Matt. You probably find yourself throwing yourself all over the place every now and then. So being able to use the right equipment obviously is key.
No, it is, mate. You know, you go on about kit, but it's actually very, very important. I've found that this gear more than any other that I've used is really, like when we're in India and Sri Lanka. You know, when it's really, really warm. It was very, very breathable and actually got rid of the sweat a lot better than any other kit because, you know, I actually weighed one of my shirts before, you know, 1.5 kilograms. And you're carrying that around as well as your body weight and everything. It gets heavy. Yeah. So, you know, this gear has been fantastic and it's been a success so far. So hopefully we can have some good success in it.
Brilliant. And I understand you've got some of your England colleagues with you today in Enfield?
Yeah, a couple of the boys have snuck up here as well. I think it's Peterson, Broad, Finn, Shazad and Bapara are the likely lads. So yeah, no, it's been good. Been a good turnout as well. You know, a lot of people excited about the coming season.
I guess it's nice to also have a bit of downtime, if you like, from a very hectic schedule. We're just back from the World Cup. Probably a little bit disappointing from your side of things. What sort of things would you say the guys have, having had a bit of a chance to chat, what would you have learned and what can you take away before the next one-day series?
I think there are a number of things. I think that, you know, first and foremost, just go out playing the subcontinent rather than one-day cricket than it is to playing at home or playing in England. You know, I think that, you know, the thing that we have to look at is it's very, very easy to think negatively and go, oh, that was a failure and everything. But actually, you know, we knew we weren't playing the best cricket that we could play. But we stuck in, we fought hard, and we got ourselves to a quarter-final. Okay, we didn't, you know, perform at all in that quarter-final, but we got there and we fought hard when it was looking like we might not even get there. You know, teams in the past, I think, would have given it up and not even reached that quarter-final. So, you know, hats off for fighting hard and getting there. The other thing we have to, you know, remember is we do have some fantastic one-day cricketers in this team, and actually a very good one-day cricket team. I know we didn't show it in the World Cup, but there's a lot more to come from this team, and as long as we keep our belief and keep working hard on the things that we know we can improve on, I see no reason why we can't make headway in one-day cricket.
You mentioned there, I think the team's come quite a long way in the one-day format. You know, I think really some have said that England in the first half of the tournament really were the team to watch because there was ties, there was dramatic finishes. We were definitely on the edge of our seats back here in England. What's it like in the middle of that moment where it really is down to one run, one fumble, one catch?
Well, it just shows you how important every run is these days, and every. You know, that's bowlers on extras and no balls and all of this, batters on making sure they're running hard and try and grab every single they can get. And it is, you know, these games, the matter of these games came down to, you know, 5 runs here or there, and you win or lose the game. So it just shows you how tight the games are these days and how important it is to make sure you don't ease up or you know, you make sure that you know that every run counts for the whole 50 overs. And the other thing is to be involved in those exciting games was incredible. You know, that India game, tied India game, packed out Bangalore ground. You know, it was in one sense very disappointing because we should have won the game. But in another sense, it was a great game to have been involved in.
Do you have a chance at all to actually look around, take it all in, or are you so focused on what you're doing there isn't even a split second?
I'll be honest, you're so focused on what you're doing that you're just carrying on with what you're trying to do. You know, you're just trying to win the game of cricket. But you know, there are times within the innings that, especially certainly fielding when Sachin was batting, you know, the noise levels seem to just fly up, and you kind of find yourself sort of looking around, going, "Oh my God, what's going on?" Where you sort of take your eye off the ball for that split second, but otherwise you're just concentrating wholeheartedly on catching ball or hitting the ball or trying to win a game.
You mentioned Sachin Tendulkar there. Of course, India and Sri Lanka are touring this summer. A great opportunity to play them in the different formats of the game as well, with the ODI series as well as the Test matches. Must be really excited and looking forward to that.
Yeah, very exciting. I mean, it's it's amazing that, as you say, the World Cup finalists, both World Cup finalists, coming to England this summer. A great time to play them. Two very exciting teams, and two tough teams to beat. So we're going to have to be on our, in our best form, and play very good cricket to beat them.
The India #1 Test team in the world. There's an opportunity there. It's been said in some of the press that England have got the chance to be #1 Test team. That probably is the ultimate test, would you say?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, our goal, even before the Ashes, was to be the best team in the world. The Ashes was a huge stepping stone. We take a lot of confidence from that, but now we've got to look forward and move forward. India is going to be another huge challenge. And, if we want to be the best team in the world, we have to beat them. It's as simple as that. So obviously that's what we're looking to do. There will be a big challenge, but, it's exciting playing against the best teams and against the best players in the world. You want to challenge yourself against them as much as possible. And, I'm very, very confident that we have the team that can do very well.
You mentioned there, of course, the Ashes. Most people, with all the cricket that's going on these days, almost have completely forgotten about the fact that England are holding the Ashes 1-3-1, of course, and those games, 3 games by an innings as well. I'm presuming celebrations were a bit different from last time round?
Yeah, a little bit. It was, on one hand, it was almost disappointing that we couldn't come home straight after the Ashes because, it would have been great to celebrate. We heard the stories about the celebrations here back home and how much it meant to people back here. So it would have been great to have that. But, it's amazing how quickly the game moves on and, things are forgotten. But certainly for those players involved, it's not been forgotten and, will forever be in our memory. And certainly we'll be looking back on those, successful times for confidence and, a lot of positives.
Absolutely right, and it shouldn't really be forgotten. It was quite an amazing series. You mentioned there, sort of people back in the UK really, up all night and listening to radios and watching whatever they can to pick it up to find out how the games were going. Did you feel at the start of the series that 3-1 was a realistic, or was it not a case of a target? It was just a case of making sure that every game was played as best you can to create a positive result.
Yeah, I mean, the target was to win the series. Whether it be 1-0, 3-1, 5-0, it was just to win the series. And, I think after the first innings at Brisbane, we knew we were in a battle. And then having saved that game, I think, we took so much from that. And then to go on and win at Adelaide, to go 1-0 up, I think, we really knew we had a great chance to win the series. As I say, we've never been ones to predict, series results and things like that. We just wanted to win the series, whatever it was. But to come away 3-1, as you said, winning 3 of those games by an innings was amazing, an amazing feat, and one that the whole team can be very proud of.
Nice, of course, for yourself as well, with sort of spin coming back into the game, and obviously Graham Swan being one of the sort of key figures. There's a lot of standing up for you today, so it's really keeping you on your balls of your toes, quite literally.
Yeah, no, it is. It's amazing to have Swanee in the team. Not just for the team, but for me personally, it's fantastic. As you say, it keeps me in the game the whole time. To watch his skill and his confidence is, probably the best thing in the house. It's fantastic, and I'll try and grab any opportunity, whether it be a catch or stumping that comes my way. And the way he's bowling at the moment, he's certainly given me a few chances. So long may that continue. He's a pivotal part of the team, and as I say, hopefully he can hold on to that form that he's shown over the last year for as long as possible.
And talking of other bowlers that also would have given you a few more opportunities to get your name on the board, someone like Jimmy Anderson really came to the party. When he really gets going, he's such a fantastic bowler.
Yeah, I mean Jimmy's just class. I mean we've got our bowling unit at the moment is really, really strong. It's something that's very, very exciting. You've got Jimmy at the moment is just hugely skillful bowling. As far as I'm concerned. It's certainly one of the best in the world. Stuart Broad, obviously he was sorely missed during this winter through injury, but I know that he's really been working very, very hard, and he just can't wait to get out there and play again. And everything he brings to the team, not just with the ball but the bat as well. And and just as a personality in the dressing room. And then, you know, you have the likes of Shazad, Finn, Tremlett, Bresnan. There's probably a number that I've actually missed out, but you know, our bowling squad just looks very, very strong, and that's hugely exciting for us.
So, just on a technical point here, the amount of time when you're doing your training that you spend on your standing back, standing up, and obviously not forgetting, of course, your batting as well.
I try and kind of work it out 50-50 between batting and keeping, but I suppose the keeping probably takes a bit longer because, as you said, there's a bit more to do. What I'll try and do is I'll try and assess the conditions to what I'll be doing that week. So if it's a test match at Perth, for example, you know, you're going to be stood back a lot more than you're going to be standing up. So I'll do a lot more work, you know, doing stood back stuff. Whereas if you're playing in Colombo or something like that, you're going to be stood up to the wicket a lot. So you do a lot more sort of drills stood up. Yeah, just whatever's going to suit the game, you know, that you're playing in. But as an overall, I'll try and keep my drills for both as, you know, as much as possible and as tough as possible as well. You know, I believe that you've got to push yourself in training as hard as you can, which gives you the best opportunity to perform well during the game.
And of course, they're looking to make some more runs this summer and really contribute. Probably middle order for on the Test match side, and maybe further up the order for the one days and 2020s. Yeah,
certainly. I just want to score as many runs as I possibly can. You know, I think our Test squad, Test batting lineup is pretty settled at the moment. So looking forward to getting stuck in and scoring, as I say, scoring as many runs as I can, and hopefully helping the team win some Test matches. Obviously, in the one-day cricket, we'll have to have a look and see where you know, what the balance of the team, and hopefully. You know, again, I can come in and perform better than I did in the World Cup.
Okay, well, last question, Matt. Just, I know you're probably got more signing of shirts to do and photos with all your England chums there. There's obviously at the moment we've got the IPL going on. There's a lot of cricket there. Are you, in a way, reasonably relieved not to be doing as much cricket as that at the moment, or would you like to have had a little dabble in it this year?
No, look, I mean, the IPL is something I'm certainly very, very interested in playing in. You know, the guys that have been involved in it say it's a spectacular competition and one that, you know, is a great experience. So I would be, you know, delighted to have an opportunity to play in that. Having said that, I think at the end of the World Cup, I was a bit injured and a bit tired, to be honest. So yeah, I'm pretty relieved to be having this time off now and able to get, you know, fully prepared for the season coming, so I can be, you know, hit the season running.
Perfect. All right, Matt, I'll say I know it's a busy time for you. Obviously, a bit of county cricket maybe as well, but mainly for England. So we thank you very much for your time, and we look forward to catching up later in the year.
Cheers, mate. Thanks a lot.
Thanks again. Bye.
Cheers. Bye-bye.
Matt, of course, in top form there. He really gave us a great insight into maybe what a lot of people were thinking, which is the England players were quite tired, and I'm not surprised the World Cup was only a quarter-final.
I think it was very refreshingly honest of him to say, look, we knew we weren't playing good cricket, but we gave it a good go and did the best we could, so fair play to him for being very frank there.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, the one thing that came out of all that, and it is easy to forget, is that England have got the Ashes. So for anyone that's an England supporter out there...
I don't think many England fans have forgotten that, Jim.
Well, I know, but it appears to, you know, there's been so much cricket with the World Cup, the IPL, and now we're starting the county season. And as he said, I think would have quite liked to have sort of landed on the plane and probably been another open top bus around most of Trafalgar Square, but anyway, that's hasn't happened. But anyway, we move on.
Yes, and Matt Pryor there talking about the challenge posed by India and then Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka, of course, coming over here first. And they've named their squad, of course, this week. No place for Lassit Malinga, no place for Angelo Matthews. Perhaps victims of this sort of ever-increasing burden workload on the players. Tilakarani Dilshan to lead the side as well. So it's a very much changed Sri Lankan outfit. Is that going to benefit them, or do you think are they going to hit the ground running? Still got the likes of Sangakkara, Javadina in the squad, if not in leadership roles.
All those M's. I would play Matthews.
Well, no more Murali, of course. He's retired.
So there's Murali, Matthews, and Malinga all not playing. That's a huge loss for them. I'm surprised even that Malinga's playing. He's playing IPL. Why wouldn't you pick him? Matthews, I think, missed out on the final spot, didn't he, in the World Cup final. Two great bowlers. If you're going to win, you've got to bowl sides out. And if they haven't got the firepower, sorry, they're going to get battered into next week, and they're not going to take the wickets.
Great stuff. Thanks, Jim. So that sort of brought to an end our discussion on the news. Got some more exciting news and things to come. Then we've got this week's edition of the ICC Cricket World Radio Show. Also, listen out here for interviews with Brett Lee and Wayne Parnell, two more players, of course, involved in the IPL.
Hello and welcome to another episode of ICC Cricket World with me, Gautam Bhimani. In today's Power Pack show, we bring you an exclusive chat with Tony Cozier as he looks forward to the West Indies series against Pakistan, which kickstarts today. He also tells us about the road ahead for cricket in the Caribbean. We have an exclusive interview with Wayne Parnell where he chats about his spot in the South African team being challenged by his good friend Lonwabo Tsotsobe and much more. Also on the show this week, we bring to you Aussie speedster Brett Lee as he talks about his second love, or is it his first, music. But first, let's listen to what's making news in the world of cricket. Here's Divya Bhagat with the news.
The International Cricket Council's Executive Board will reconsider their decision to exclude the Associate Nations from the ICC Cricket World Cup 2015 to be jointly held in Australia and New Zealand. Despite a promising show by the Associate Nations in the recently concluded World Cup, the ICC's Executive Board had earlier decided to allow only 10 full members to participate. After hearing from the affiliate and the associate members, ICC Supremo Sharad Pawar has requested the Cricket Governing Body's Executive Board to rethink their decision during the ICC annual conference in Hong Kong at the end of June 2011. The board had also introduced test playoffs for the top 4 teams and expanded the number of teams playing in the ICC World 2020 to 16. Meanwhile, Lasith Malinga and Angelo Matthews have not been included in Sri Lanka's test squad for the Tour of England, which starts next month. While Matthews has been ignored due to a quad muscle injury which he picked up during the Cricket World Cup, concerns on whether Malinga's body is ready to withstand the rigours of test cricket forced the board to take the call. And Pakistan skipper Shahid Afridi has named Wasim Akram, Moin Khan and Inzamam ul Haq as the top 3 captains he has had the privilege to play under. Afridi said that he enjoyed cricket under Akram, while Moin Khan's and Inzamam's leadership instilled in him a fighting spirit. The flamboyant all-rounder also rated late Bob Woolmer as the best coach he has ever had.
Thank you so much for that, Divya. Shahid Afridi, of course, now is in the West Indies, and when it comes to talking about that part of the world, who better than Tony Cozier himself? Let's go across and see what he has to say about Pakistan and West Indies, and of course, life without the 3 big guns of West Indian cricket. Tony, I'm going to start by asking you about the state of West Indian cricket as it stands now post the World Cup. Not the greatest performance. Where do you think West Indies cricket stands now?
Well, it hasn't been a great run for West Indies for a very long time. You go back probably a dozen years and the West Indies have gone into a very deep decline and now find themselves really on the bottom rungs of the International Cricket Council ratings. And the West Indies selectors have decided prior to this series against Pakistan that they will try some newer players. They've gone to some drastic measures in leaving out 3 of their most experienced and best players, best batsmen, all 3 at one time. Chris Gayle was not available for selection because of injury, and he was not selected for the first 2 one-day internationals and has since, of course, decided to go off to join the Indian Premier League, and it looks very much as if he's at loggerheads with the board, and his future now must be in doubt as far as international cricket with the West Indies is concerned.
Now, 3 big names, Gayle, Sarwan and Chanderpaul, are all missing now from the West Indies lineup, and they're missing out of choice. What really went on there?
Well, what the board has said and what the head coach Otis Gibson has said is that even with those top players, the West Indies have not done well for the past 12 years, and certainly in the World Cup. None of the 3 players mentioned, Gayle, Sarwan and Chanderpaul, had any sort of influence whatever on the West Indies' performance. People like Devon Smith, who got 100 against Ireland and batted pretty well, the leading scorer for the West Indies in the World Cup. And then the bowlers, Kemar Roach, Andre Russell came into his own there. But the main players, those 3, really didn't measure up. The West Indies also have a new captain in Darren Sammy. I say new because he was only appointed last October and has had very little experience. So this is going to be a big test for him as well. He came back from the World Cup, and the Windward Islands, who he usually captains, were in the semi-final of the West Indies 4-day competition, and he didn't turn out for them. All the other players who came back from the World Cup and who were eligible to play in the semi-finals turned out, but he didn't. And he said that he felt physically and mentally drained after the World Cup, and that's not a good sign.
Well, Tony, that's enough about the past. Even if you suggest that they can't go back to those standards, let's talk about West Indian cricket now. They've got a series coming up against Pakistan. It all kicks off today. Talk about it from a Pakistani perspective. Do you think they're going to enjoy playing in West Indian conditions? Any similarities to where they play back home?
Well, as I say, they'll come here, and the Pakistanis do have the advantage, I suppose, of playing in Guyana, the first test match, and in St. Kitts, the second test. And those are pitches which are very good for batting. If anything, they're like subcontinental pitches in that they don't bounce that much. They don't encourage any sort of seam. If anything, the spinners might get a bit out of it. But those are two pitches where you would go into the match figuring that perhaps we'll have a draw. I would say that the odds on drawn test matches are more than we could have matches which finish.
Well, it's always interesting getting an opportunity to chat with the voice of West Indian cricket, Tony Cozier. Well, if the winds of change are hitting cricket in that part of the world, they also seem to be hitting South African cricket. Time now to catch up with Wayne Parnell, who was interviewed with ICC Cricket World's Sai Prasad Mahapatro.
Speaking about your international career, when it comes to South African team, you are seen as first three frontline bowlers, but off late, Satsobi has taken over that place, who happens to be a good friend as well. Do you see a direct conflict, a direct competition with him, but at the same time it's really tricky that he's also your good friend?
I think, when I started, I was obviously in the trio. Then I got injured, and then he came in, and he obviously did really well, which I'm really proud of him. We are sort of best friends back home as well. So it is a little bit tricky, being friends and also competing for the same spot. But yeah, we've sort of decided that basically, whatever happens, the best man must play for the country. And at the moment, he is the best man. But yeah, I am still in the wings, practicing and doing my bit. And working on my all-round game. I think that's what I can offer more than what he basically can. Batting. But yeah, he's been bowling really well lately, which I'm obviously proud of him. But in one days in T20, you obviously have an edge because of your batting gift. So in that sense, you feel that you have a way, or you have a chance of making up for not getting that test opportunity, which Satsobi is walking away with. It's very, very tricky because you obviously need to think of what's best for the team. And at the moment, he's the best guy for the team. But yeah, it's obviously very disappointing for me personally. But I guess the only thing that I can do now is just wait for an opportunity, and when I do get that opportunity to obviously show everyone that I'm the man for the job. I actually don't know when that will be, but I'm just practicing, as if the next game is going to be that opportunity, and hopefully one day when it comes, I'll be ready for it.
Your team is going through a transition phase from Graham Smith to Johan Botha as a captain now. Has the team been well and truly adapted to the new captain, the captaincy, his style of captaincy? How do you see the transition happening?
I think if it's one of the guys that have been playing now for the past couple of seasons, I don't really see that there should be any issues with people getting used to it. Obviously we've had a certain core group of players for the past couple of seasons together, and I personally think that will remain the same. Obviously playing under a new captain will be a little bit different because he'll have his own ideas in that. But yeah, we are international cricketers, and we just need to adapt. I've played under a few different captains in my short career, and I've really enjoyed every single one. They've all been different in their own ways. Some being more strict than others, some being more relaxed, But I think every captain is obviously unique in its own way.
Thank you, Sai, for that. From one quick bowler to another. But while Wayne Parnell may have been talking more of fast bowling, you'll find that Brett Lee, in his interview with Dinesh Chopra, will talk a little less about cricket and a little more about music.
What is more challenging for you, playing in front of a packed house, maybe somewhere like in MCG, or performing in a musical arena which is full of your fans who want to listen to your music?
It's both fun, which is the reason why I do it. And I was asked this question previously, a few hours ago, about what music does, for me as a person. And I think if I look back to 10, 15 years ago, I felt like there was a part of the jigsaw puzzle that was missing. Once I took up music and actually learned about what music's all about, it gave me this great sense of enjoyment, and that puzzle now has been completed. And I feel like now that if I have a bad day in cricket, which is going to happen because it's all about playing sport, go home and play the guitar and play the bass or play the piano and have a bit of fun. And music's brought me a lot of great memories. So I've met some amazing musicians around the world.
And of late you have also changed your band from Six and Out to White Shoe Theory. Why did this change come about?
Well, that's in the previous band, yeah, and obviously working with 5 cricketers and my older brother in Six and Out was a lot of fun. We didn't do stuff for a few years, and when Mick and I have been friends now for over a decade, we came up with the band White Shoe Theory, which we're touring with now. We previously did about 3 months ago, did a tour here in India, just myself and him, which is pretty much what White Shoe Theory is all about.
Brett Lee has always had his love affair with the guitar, and it's not going to change in a hurry. Time now to go back to Divya Bhagat, who has with her this week's Reliance Mobile ICC Cricket Rankings.
In the Reliance ICC ODI rankings for batsmen, Hashim Amla still rules the charts at number 1 with 867 points. The South African is followed by teammate AB de Villiers, who is 63 points behind at 804 points. Sri Lanka's new skipper Tilakratne Dilshan is at number 3. Australian all-rounder Shane Watson, who had a wonderful series against Bangladesh, has caught up with Dilshan and is just 3 points away at the 4th place. Sri Lanka's keeper Kumar Sankara is at number 5 and followed by another Aussie, Mike Hussey. Jonathan Trott finds himself 7th in the rankings following a great run in the ICC Cricket World Cup. 3 Indians round off the top 10 with Virat Kohli, MS Dhoni and Sachin Tendulkar taking the 8th, 9th and 10th spots respectively. In the Reliance ICC ODI rankings for bowlers, New Zealand skipper Daniel Vittori leads the charts with 701 points. He is followed by another left-arm spinner and the lone Zimbabwean bowler in the top 20, Raymond Price. Graeme Swann completes the spinner's dominance at the top as he is at 667 points. With 663 points, it's South African paceman Dale Steyn at number 4. Following him is his new ball partner Morne Morkel, who is just 2 points behind Steyn. Aussie Mitchell Johnson has taken the 6th spot. Within touching distance of Johnson is the tall South African quickie Lonbavo Sotsove. The mystery spinner from the Emerald Isle Ajanta Mendes is at 8th place with 644 points. 1 point behind is Pakistan captain Shahid Afridi, and completing the top 10 is Nuwan Kolasegra from Sri Lanka. In the Reliance ICC ODI Championship for the teams, it's Australia who are sitting pretty at the top with 129 points. World champions India on 2nd place with 121 points, while losing finalists Sri Lanka take the 3rd spot with 118 points. South Africa are at number 4, only 2 points behind, and England stay put at 5th place, while Pakistan and New Zealand are at 6th and 7th place respectively. With the series against Pakistan underway, West Indies would hope to improve their number 8 ranking. Having suffered a 3-0 whitewash against Australia, Bangladesh are languishing on the 9th spot. A fair distance behind, the men from Ireland occupy the 10th spot.
That's all we have on the show today, but before we bid adieu, a quick reminder to join the Fantasy League on www.iccfantasyleague.com. Make your team for the series between West Indies and Pakistan. Remember, it all kicks off today, so hurry and get those teams in. The winner will get an autographed Pakistan jersey. Well, we hope you enjoyed this episode of ICC Cricket World as we enjoyed putting it together for you. This is Gautam Bhimani saying goodbye.